Inspired by the words of Mahatma Gandhi, who lived for peace and not violence, and told us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Freedom's calling, I feel the fire that's deep inside us. Everybody wants change, but tell me who will guide us. To the leaders that pass away, put up your lighters. It's a beautiful struggle, but it cannot divide us. We're the ones that we've always been waiting for. See yourself in the mirror and open up the door. Walk through it and feel the love throughout your pores. Be the light, life's purpose is to feel joy. Metaphysical, lyrical, standing up for truth. The only one to make change is walking in your shoes. Be the example, don't complain about the news. Making music and serving the world with the loo. Now you can be the same, or you can be the change. Find strength from inside, break through the chains. No one to blame, nothing to prove. You create your reality, it's up to you. Be the change
that you wanna see in the world. Like Gandhi live for peace,
aspire to be
someone who fights for the beliefs. Like Martin Luther King,
aspire to be
that Lord,
that light,
like Christ,
life
for the moment in need.
And if you believe
in Jehovah,
Allah,
Buddha,
Krishna,
it's love to me.
My soul yearns for peace in a world that's flooded with war. History's littered with body scar, trying to settle the score and maintain an archaic platform of power and greed. People fight for land out of survival and need. So I'm killing my television and I'm planting the seed to fill my head with knowledge that I'm seeing recede. Due to the media propaganda killing my creed. Or what don't kill me make me stronger, feeling straight when I bleed. Fighting for interest before it's attached to feet. They try to sell you anything in this world, nothing for free. Land, air, fire, and water, they keep up in the ante, while the anti-proletariat told the powers that be. But we keep fighting, surviving and thriving, recycling and rhyming. We constantly inclining, we see through the lying and prying. They tactically keep trying to keep you from asking.
See in the world like God.
Boom shakalaka. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little new to the streaming services on YouTube, so just hold up as I get things sorted out here. Check 1, 2, 3. Alright. Well, everything seems to be rocking. I'm going to see if I can get some viewers on here before I rock. Nah, just get straight into it. And if anyone turns up, we'll take some questions. I'm enjoying this whole live streaming thing. I'm kind of new to it. Had a YouTube account for about 7 years, but I've never really done the live thing. And it's a great opportunity to speak to people in the real time. Like to think magic in real time, and yeah, just have a real connection with people in different parts of the world. So yeah, I feel obliged to jump in there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got some memes going on right now. Your chocolate Nubian soul brother does love a good meme, so I think we'll start off. First of all, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, thank you for checking out my videos over the last few weeks, months, or years, for however long you have been following me. I salute you. I appreciate you. And I would appreciate you even more if you share this video, like it, click on the bell, tell your mom, tell your friends, drop us some comments, let us know what it is. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk about just some of the things that are going on in the world right now. In this new world of Orwellian censorship, big tech, governments, controlling what you say, pretty soon controlling what you think. I mean, can you imagine what it's going to be like 100 years from now if we continue at this rate? I mean, less than 50 years ago, you didn't need a license to collect rainwater, get married. Further than that, didn't need a life. So further years beyond that, about 100 years ago, I'm pretty sure you didn't need a license to travel to another country. But here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 2021. Pretty soon you will need a license to think the thoughts you want. At this rate, we will be in a society where thoughts will be considered dangerous. What if people have original ideas and then they do horrible things. Oh no, we must do something to prevent people from thinking the wrong thoughts. That's where this kind of thinking tends to lead, right? This fear-based approach to laws. And the funny thing is, the laws don't really matter. At the end of the day, if the society want to get something done and don't have a respect for the law, which is currently what we're seeing now, or don't have an understanding of the law, they're just disregarded. One of the arguments I consistently hear from people is we need to focus on changing the laws. We need to have peaceful protests and convince people to write new laws and change the system. Well, it just so happens that there are laws that protect individuals from the kind of stuff that we're seeing at the moment, where a government essentially has too much power, overreach, and disregards the natural rights of its citizens. I mean, that's what the Constitution is for. And the Constitution is supposed to be the highest law of the land, not just in the United States, but also in Australia, mate. But of course, people don't care about this. People stop learning this. And I believe since the Gulf Whitlam government, students in Australia aren't required to learn the Constitution. And as a result, people have this idea that they must just do whatever the government, Dan Andrews, ScoMo, Joe Biden, Fauci, tell them to do, because that's what the right thing to do is, right? And then, of course, there are some people, some politicians that are well aware of what the laws are, but they just don't care. They write new ones. They come up with laws that circumvent constitutional rights, and they say that, well, it's a new normal. It's a state of emergency, and they can't come up with whatever justification they feel is appropriate in order to justify what they're doing. And this is the situation that we're in now. Ooh, let's have a look at some memes, ladies and gentlemen. Challenge. When a negative thought enters your mind, think 3 positive ones. It's kind of difficult to focus on the positive things going on in the world when there seems to be so much negativity, right? But it is a good exercise to focus on the positive, to combat the negative. Yes, there are horrible things that are going on in this world right now, but hey, you can breathe. You woke up this morning. If you're lucky, you're surrounded by people that care about you. And if you're not, take steps to cultivate a life that is surrounded by people that care about you. Make a conscious effort to change the information that you are bringing into your life. If there is too much negativity, if there is too much pain, take a step back. You don't have to expose yourself to information if you're not ready for it. You don't have to attend every battle that you're invited to. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is to take a step back and come back when you are ready. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I want to have a look at a video that I came across recently of our Lord and Savior, Dan Andrews. He has an announcement to make in regards to everything that is going on in Australia, mate. Are you ready for it? Let's have a look what he has to say.
There's nothing that can be done to prevent that. If I get public health advice to lock out another part of the country from people from that part of the country travelling to Victoria, I will not hesitate to do that. I will do it in a moment. And that's that.
I love that. There's nothing that he can do about it. He's simply just following the science. He's just simply been told what needs to be done. There's no accountability, it seems, in the 21st century. People that give orders, people that are in positions of power, or even for individuals, the common thing I hear time and time again is, look, mate, it's not my fault. I'm just following orders. Oh, look, mate, I'm just following the science. If I'm told by the health minister that, look, we need to do certain things in order to keep people safe, well, I don't care the fact that it's his opinion. And look, I just think that we need to do whatever he says. And that's all there is to it. And if people die because of my actions, because of me forcing them to do something that I think is in their best interest, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is good intentions, right? Good intentions. And a lot of people serve up platitudes like, what else is he supposed to do? He's just doing what he thinks is right. All that is required for the triumph of evil is for people to say things like, hey, I had good intentions. It seems as if the emphasis on rights, on laws, no longer means anything. All that matters is, well, if someone's trying to do good, if someone is trying to avert danger, well, that justifies whatever they're doing. Hey, look, mate, I need to come into your house and I need to do whatever I feel is necessary in order to keep everyone safe. And that means at this point in time, well, you have to hop on one leg. Yeah, mate, the science says if you hop on one leg, that will keep you safe. Hey, you need to come out and put on this mask. We're playing this game of Simon Says. And look, I realize that people believe that ultimately we need to do something in order to combat what's going on. But do we really know what's going on? I mean, YouTube, obviously, I'm not questioning the narrative. But is it possible that the government has gotten things wrong in the past? I mean, they certainly have gotten things wrong in the past. That's a fact, right? Therefore, is it possible that they are getting things wrong now? Or should we only focus on the fact that they have good intentions? Should we only focus on the fact that if they believe that the science is saying one thing, we should listen to the science no matter what it is, and have no respect for human rights? It seems like this is the narrative now. Human rights, who cares about human rights when their people are dying? When there are people that are dying. This is what Daniel Andrews has been saying.
Stakes are very high here. We have built something that is precious and it needs to be safeguarded. And I make no apology for doing everything I can to keep Victoria safe. The alternative would be to ignore public health advice. You have to at least give some thought to the notion that there could be an outbreak and your plans may well be impacted by that. That has got...
All right. How about thought to the notion that by forcing people to stay in their homes, by forcing people not to be able to work, by continuing to print out money, that is going to have consequences as well, unforeseen consequences? How about the fact that it's leading people to suicide? How about the fact that many people that need to get elective surgery for things that are really not that elective, these are surgeries that are actually quite severe, they're unable to do so because of all of these restrictions that have been put in place now, because of all of these procedures that need to be followed in order to keep everyone safe, that people that want to get into the hospital now have to wait for longer periods. These are also things to consider. There is no action that does not have consequences, unforeseen consequences. And if we're playing this game where it's acceptable to force people to do things because we have good intentions, does that mean that we're somehow not responsible for unforeseen consequences now? Does it somehow mean that Daniel Andrews is relieved from all responsibility because he was trying to do the right thing? That's like me breaking into someone's house in order to, because I see the surrounding neighborhood being enveloped with fires, and the only way, in my mind, that I can protect the house from being burnt is to break into the house and to get rid of anything which is highly flammable. And by doing so, I injure a lot of people. I break personal belongings. I somehow end up injuring not only these people's property, but individuals as well. Now am I somehow absolved from responsibility? And this is what I mean, this isn't a perfect analogy, but this is essentially what I see going on at the moment. This government, I mean, we're going with this idea that it is essentially trying to do what it thinks is in the best interests of everyone, but it's doing a lot of damage. And then people don't want to hold the government responsible. And that's what we're seeing. But worst off, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing something that has really never been seen in our history at the moment. This world we're in, where big tech is able to censor the most powerful people, even the President of the United States. Big tech has been going crazy censoring everyone lately. I found out just recently, Ron Paul, the amazing Ron Paul, one of the champions of freedom in this liberty space, was censored. Was censored for criticizing essentially big tech for censoring Donald Trump. And wasn't really given an explanation for why he was censored. From what I understand, he doesn't have any real access to his Facebook account. And look, once again, it would be one thing if these corporations like Facebook, Twitter, were clear about their terms and conditions, but it's done in such a way that it essentially gives them the ability to censor anyone using any justification. I mean, if they simply just said that, and maybe they do, I've been told that at the end of the day, they weave this into their terms and agreements, but it just turns out a lot of people aren't aware of it. They weave in this idea that fundamentally, they can censor anyone at will. They don't need to give a justification. At least this is what I've been told. And if that was the case, if that was clear, fair enough. But I don't believe that's what's going on. I think they're creating this narrative that they have these clear terms and conditions, using this to onboard a lot of people on their platforms, get them addicted to this social platform, and then they cut them off just like that and tell them that they violated the terms and conditions when ultimately they haven't. But ultimately they're flexing their muscles, and they're doing this because they have their own agenda. Now, granted, they're also getting pressure from the government, but people, even corporations, need to take responsibility for their actions, you know? It's like we're living in this world at the moment where people are saying, oh, look, the government's putting pressure on me, so I have to do this. Isn't that exactly the same argument that the Nazis used? We're just following orders. Hey, it's not my fault. I don't think it works like that. If you're doing something, if what you're doing is intrinsically bad, then you should be responsible for it. If you're going out and killing people, if you're going out and you're arresting people, if you were going out and you were threatening people, the argument that you're just following orders doesn't have any weight as far as I'm concerned. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at some memes. Don't have any viewers yet. Perhaps I need to start saying when I'm going to be going online so I can have some of you guys come up and you can ask me some questions. But in the event none of you come up on this stream, be sure to drop some questions for me in the comment section, and I will do my best to get back to you. But for now, let's check out some memes. 2020 has made two things abundantly clear. You should plant a garden and own a firearm. So true, ladies and gentlemen. 2020 has taught us that we need to be more self-sufficient, that when we're relying on the government or this system, essentially, it makes things more difficult for us. It'd be great if we could just cut off from everything that's going on right now in civilization, go to some far-off farm, and grow our own food, live off of the land. Of course, you wouldn't be needing to worry about the popo coming to your doorstep just like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can still happen, but it's far less likely. The more condensed a society is, the more inclined people are to have a say in your affairs. People come to your doorstep and say, look, mate, yeah, I feel like you're putting me in danger, you know, because your breathing and your germs could affect me. So, look, mate, I think you should get boom shakalaka. I think we need to become more self-sustaining. Rest in peace to the 2,996 Americans who died in 9/11. Rest in peace to the 1.5 roughly million innocent Iraqis who died during the U.S. invasion for something they didn't do. This is a classic example of what we've been seeing time and time again. Government uses something as justification to commit violations of people's rights or horrible atrocities. And then when they fuck up, they say things like, oh, look, mate, we didn't mean to do that, and we had good intentions. Or, yeah, look, I understand that you're obviously concerned about what we've done. Obviously, we've had some collateral damage, but yeah, this is war. You know, nothing is perfect, and yeah, now you Iraqis are free, man. Or what I can imagine being a case here with what's going on when we start seeing people suffering negative consequences to the boom shakalaka. I wouldn't be surprised to hear the government once again saying that, well, look, we needed to do this and we've avoided many people. We've saved many, many lives. Now only a few 100,000 people have died and we've averted millions and millions of lives. Therefore, it's acceptable. This ends justifies the means BS that we see time and time again. Oh. But it's the censorship right now that is killing me. Because look, we are in a situation where we don't have the means to defend ourselves. Australia has been disarmed about 20 years ago. Government took away all the guns. And it's like we're living in our parents' house still. You know, it's like we're adults. You know that feeling when you live in your parents' house, you got to live under their rules, you can't do anything? It's like that at the moment with this big tech censorship that's going on. And the worst thing is they're coming up with the most ridiculous reasons to explain why it's going on. Oh, look, mate, yeah, look, there's obviously a lot of dangerous conspiracy theories, and you were inciting violence. Yeah, incitement this time, and yeah, and you don't have any power. You don't have any ability to challenge them. I mean, unless of course you leave, and this is what I had to do. I had to leave my home, as most people do, and it's not until you leave these platforms, build your own home, build your own platform, and find your alternative platform that you can actually stand in your sovereignty and you can express yourself freely without having to worry as much about what mommy and daddy are going to do. Now, of course, this is what's happened with Parler, product of the free market. Because of all the censorship that's been going on recently, we see this new app, Parler. Apparently, it had been number one in the stores on Apple, because people don't like censorship. People like being able to express their own ideas. You know, I mean, that's the whole purpose of communicating online, to be able to share your thoughts, right? I mean, besides taking shots of yourself and showing that on Instagram and whatnot, people like to express themselves. I mean, that's what we do as human beings. We like to express. We like to show people what we're feeling, what we're thinking. And when you cut that, when you take away that ability, it's a form of mental slavery. We've got to free ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Free ourselves from mental slavery. As Bob Marley once said, none but ourselves can free our minds. Okay, I'm going to take a few more memes and I'm going to leave it here. The great Nikola Tesla. Oh, you know one person that is really championing freedom? Elon Musk. His company, Tesla, has been doing some great things. I mean, apparently he's looking at investing a lot of money in the crypto space. Thank God. I mean, that is one way. That's one way we can battle this system. The Federal Reserve printing away money like nothing, slowly stealing away our monies, our freedom over time. Good old Elon Musk is apparently the richest man in the world at the moment. And he's done this by focusing on sustainability, these technologies to essentially allow us to live in a more environmentally friendly society. And he's one of these few people. A lot of people say, oh, he's part of the league, he's part of these dark, shady characters. But from what I've been seeing, he's been saying all the right stuff, talking about how we need to get away from these centralized platforms, these platforms that want to censor our speech, saying that people have unalienable rights, that the government shouldn't have the right to lock people in their homes. This is such a rare thing to see. Actually, it's not that rare, really. When we think about some of the most brilliant figures in history, I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had our fair share of evil, tyrannical leaders, but so many of the most brilliant people, the most influential people, have also had the right kind of mindset. People like Nikola Tesla, who was all about essentially creating a free society through his free energy. People like Leonardo da Vinci devoted his life towards these amazing creations that would shape his society, devoting himself to art, expressing himself through not just the technology, the art. These truly brilliant geniuses, these polymaths. Pythagoras, once again. More often than not, you find when people are working from a place of heart, they're also working from a place of real intellect. In the ancient mystery schools, they had this idea that in order for people to progress to these higher levels of consciousness, to awaken their kundalini energy, they would need to awaken their heart, the anahata. This is supposed to be the seat of consciousness, the fulcrum point from where you can rise into higher enlightenment. And similarly, and this is why I would say you would find so many of these brilliant figures also having a heart, also understanding these fundamental principles of life, freedom, decentralization, choice, not control, not fear-based thinking. This is the refuge of the morally debunked. This is the refuge of fearful men and women. But this is what we're seeing from so many of our leaders. How many leaders have been coming out and saying, I believe that we all need to be strong and not fear this virus. We need to eat healthy, get some sunshine, listen to our doctors, but think for ourselves. We need to come together, but respect our fellow brothers and sisters. No. We're hearing things like, yeah, look, mate, until everyone gets boom shakalaka, none of you are going to be able to go back to normal. Nothing is going to change unless, of course, we all do the right thing. You must do what you're told. You must comply. And that, for some reason, seems to be, at least by a lot of people, seems to be the words of a real leader. That seems like they seem like the words of a dictator, a tyrant. And historically, that's what the tyrants have always said, you must give up your freedoms in order to achieve safety. And people buy this. People have been buying this for generations. And we keep on taking a step back, but I believe we're also moving forward. I think we are learning from history, and we will continue to, provided we have the ability to learn from it, and we don't have the history book censored. But that's kind of what we're seeing at the moment, right? I mean, so much of our information, so much of our history is stored online, and this stuff is being deleted along with our accounts. That is why it's so important right now to back up your daughter, back up your contacts. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, if you like my content, you want to keep in touch with me, I'm on the verge of being cut out from Facebook, my Facebook group, where I've been sharing a lot of content on. So, yeah, I created a Telegram account. The link should be on this video. Be sure to check it out. That'll be the primary group that I'll be using just to share controversial content. Because if you post this anywhere else at the moment, I mean, Parler is gone at the moment. And, yeah, truth be told, I don't really have a following on that. So, and I just feel more comfortable using Telegram at this point in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel obliged, follow me on, or join me on my Telegram group. That's the Crucial Journey. I'll put the link on this page. And be sure to follow me on the other social media. I'm on BitChute. I have an account there. Also on Instagram. I mean, I'm not posting too much controversial stuff there because, let's face it, it's owned by Facebook and it's going through the same kind of censorship. So I'm going to be sticking to Telegram for any of the information that you're used to hearing from your chocolate Nubian. And Parler, assuming we can get back on that. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you stay connected with people. Make sure that you back up your accounts. And yeah, I think it's incumbent upon us now to define new avenues to express ourselves. Because we're moving into a society where there's less and less outlet for freedom. And to quote JFK, those that make peaceful protest impossible make violent revolution inevitable. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, brothers and sisters around the world, let me know what you think. Give us a like. Share this video. Tell your mom, tell your friends. Peace out, keep it real. Don't drive and text. Surya namaskara, namaste. Peace be upon your butt cheeks. Until next time.